You are now watching Zaclasage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Zaclasage here. We are about to watch the absolute amazing finals of the Late Night Series number 7 between Bruno playing Dragapult Hammers against Raihan playing Suicune Ludicolo. Who's gonna win? Are we gonna see Dragapult win its second Late Night Series event? Are we going to see Suicune kind of take over from winning Chill Series a while back and win a Late Night Series as well? Both decks are very well-proven competitive decks at this point, so let me know exactly who you think is going to win in the comments below. Give this video a like if you love watching the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Both of the players' lists are in the description of this video. Feel free to copy and paste them right into PTCGO. That being said, I don't want to hold you back from the action. Let's get it. Let's see exactly what's going on. So, jumping into the finals, we have two amazing players with amazing decks that have overcome plenty of other players at this Late Night Series number 7 event. There was over 300 players, and we have Suicune versus Dragapult. So Dragapult making finals for the 3rd straight event. Now, I'm just double checking to see where these players have their run throughout the day. And I mean, both players have not made finals at a Late Night Series event, so I'm really hyped to see brand new players kind of in the finals. So just making sure, seeing if there's anything spicy going on with those lists, you know, typical tournament setup stuff. So the Suicune Ludicolo deck looks very similar to Gabriel Samato's winning list, if not the exact same list. I can't necessarily find any differences when it comes down to it. When it comes down to the Dragapult list that Bruno is playing is a Crushing Hammer Path to the Peak version that seems incredibly powerful, very similar to the list that my Shuffle Squad teammate Vaughn O'Brien was able to make top 8 with at the Chill TCG event last week. So both players look like they're playing relatively common or known lists for these top decks in the formats. Also just going to move my chair up a little bit, peeps. So not a bad start. Obviously, with Raihan going first, I think it seems really strong to be like, yep, I'm going to attach an energy to Suicune, and I'm going to get that stuff powered up. I think this matchup's really going to come down to getting those Ludicolos off at the right moments and getting everything powered up whenever necessary. That alone could be difficult. Getting that damage off, or getting that damage off and that energy off, means that Raihan now has to go for a Melanie play to get those energies back into play. So we'll see what Fleet-Footed offers. I think it's smart to use it before you do anything. I mean, we're gonna see an evolve into a Drizzile here, and that's going to get everything kind of set up for the Suicune. So Suicune will be able to attack. I don't think there's enough damage that's able to be done. -2 means it's going to be doing 180 even with a full bench. So we'll see what Melanie really brings here. Nothing particularly crazy, no energies, which means that Evolution Incense has to be going into a Drizzile, or we're going to see a Scoop Up Net on the Drizzile. So in terms of Scoop Up Nets used, that is one of the Scoop Up Nets out of the 2 in the deck. And of course, it's got to grab a Capacious Bucket just so there's options to grab those energies in play. We need to be able to attack with a Blizzard Rondo to 2-shot this Dragapult VMAX. So 2-shotting a VMAX is certainly good. Technically drawing like 1.5 prize cards if there ever was anything. So I don't really see too much else coming down here. We might see a Quick Ball for a Lotad. Lotad does have 60 HP. It's probably a good idea to get those out before anything happens. Maybe we might see another Sobble drop the ground, but I mean, if it's not a Lotad, and if it's not a Sobble, and it's not a Suicune, those are the only basic Pokemon we're going to see. And I think that other Suicune might just get pitched. Oh, it's going to be a Boss's Orders, actually. Okay, so we are going to see the Lotad like I saw, and I like that Ryan's able to look through their deck to understand exactly what's going on here. So, 160, not enough for a knockout, but it certainly is enough for 2 hits on that Dragapult. That Dragapult has currently no way to heal. There's no Suspicious Food Tin. There is no Cheryl. There's no nothing. This Pokemon is either going to evolve and attack and get knocked out, leaving Bruno potentially vulnerable, Or maybe it's just going to be sacrificing this Pokemon and building up another one on the bench, maybe punishing Raihan for discarding that boss's orders. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on here. It tells me that that Bruno has to have a research in their hands, or some other kind of draw supporter. And okay, so there's the Dragapult VMAX. Active's getting evolved, so going for that play. And oh, Level Ball. So Level Ball's going to grab the Drizzile. Drizile's going to grab a Research, which is risky because there might be the miss here on the energy, right? If there's no Fog Crystal found, it's tough. If you go for a Fog Crystal to grab the Psychic Energy, Bruno just leaves himself with a 0 card hand. So we might be able to see a miss here. Best case scenario for Bruno is that there's Crushing Hammers, and that they force Raihan to attach energies to that Suicune again as it's getting knocked out. So we see the evolve, but we don't see the energy yet. Oh, Shred! Boom! That's certainly going to hurt if you are Bruno. You probably want to slap the Cape of Toughness onto the active so it can survive a Max Phantom if they follow that up. But apparently not. It's not the worst thing. We are going to be able to see a knockout regardless of anything. I don't know if there's anything else, because that Inteleon holds the key to getting rare candy into the Ludicolo. So I think in a pretty good spot. I would definitely get out a Drizzile this turn if I were Raihan. I think Drizzile is incredibly important to get out, so you do have access to quick shooting Inteleon. Maybe just going for Lombre is the correct play, and you could go rare candy into the quick shooting Inteleon. That might be a little bit of a better play, because you can't boss and play Raihan in the same turn. There's no Lieutenant Surge. That's card's not in format. So we're going to see Blizzard Rondo, boom, for the knockout, and putting Raihan up 3 prize cards halfway through to winning this first game. And it is best of 3 here, peeps. So there's currently a lot of things to... we're still in here for a little bit. So there's that Raihan. So really not too hard to find. So it looks like this active Pokemon is just going to get actively Max Phantoms. And I'm not entirely sure what other card. It looks like it's got to be an energy, right? There's no way that it's not going to be an energy. So now the game really goes back into Raihan's favor. Can you go Ludicolo? And I would have almost liked to see another Lotad come down to maybe get that play. Maybe that Sobble is just going to get knocked out with Max Phantom. Being up 3 prize cards certainly could be huge. So not evolving into Drizzile there certainly does take away a lot of options for Raihan this upcoming turn, because now there's no quick shooting plays. But it makes you wonder, how is Bruno going to be able to win this game? That's the last Dragapult, and that Dragapult's going to have to be able to draw 3 prize cards. I don't see a way that it's going to survive multiple turns. So as long as Raihan doesn't put out too many bench Pokemon that can actively get knocked out with quick shooting or anything else like that, I think Raihan is going to take this game right to the bank. So, I mean, let's see exactly what's going on. That's a lot of cards to give up. But maybe this will work out. I think it's a really great idea to start building up quick shooting. We already dropped the only Shady Dealings Inteleon. So the fact that we're not going with that card alone tells me that we are now just going for quick shooting as a strategy. So quick shoot the active. Let's see what's popping. Let's hit that active again. And really just be like, word, Bruno, what are you going to do this turn? So we're going to see exactly what Bruno is able to do this turn. So Inteleon could go ahead and grab Crushing Hammers. We might see a double Crushing Hammer play here and a Marnie. And boom, with a couple coin flips, this game could look a little bit closer. But with Tails, it could secure the victory for Raihan. So there is a Tails. Probably not the result that you want to see if you are Bruno. Let's see, Crushing Hammer. There's a Heads. It's much better to discard the Capture Energy in this matchup because you cannot get them back with Melanie. In a way, too, it might be better to discard the Water Energy, hoping that your opponent only has Capture. So seeing what's going on, maybe this is just going to be another Crushing Hammer. I think we've only seen 2 or 3 so far, so that is a 4th. This could just spell doom for Raihan if they are unable to get a Melanie and another energy. So getting double Crushing Hammer heads with all of their Shady Dealing Search and a Marnie, things that were looking very good for Raihan now aren't looking as good. I mean, Raihan's an energy and a Melanie away from making it happen. So we do see that there is a Level Ball. Level Ball can turn Sobble into a Drizzile. So that's really what we're looking for here. And Bruno's currently looking for ways to get the knockouts on multiple Pokemon. So there's the Melanie. I think that's probably game. You want to go ahead and search out the Drizzile. See, there's currently no way to... You have to draw into that energy, I believe. Nothing was knocked out. So you got to grab the Drizzile. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of sneaky play. You almost have to go... You almost want to go Drizzile, grab something out of the deck that can grab something out of the deck to then increase your chances. So the fact that there's no Capacious Bucket in there really means that Raihan's relying on luck. I think there was 3 energies. There's 3 energies, that's 1 in every 7 cards. So putting Melanie at approximately a 50% chance off the top of my head. I'm not always the greatest with numbers, but I think it's much better to go Drizzile first. And that's an energy miss. So this might just spell doom. Those double Crushing Hammerheads might have really got there. There's no way to get rid of that stadium. This is a wild game. And Bruno really turning the tides with those Crushing Hammers, showing how important they can be in some matchups. I mean, that Suicune is going to get knocked out. Maybe you just bring back the Sobble and hope. There's no more Crushing Hammers to deal with. I mean, I think at this point, going Scoop Up Net on Sobble seems pretty good. I'm not entirely sure how many Scoop Up Nets were in the discard pile of Bruno. Putting Cape of Toughness certainly could solve that, but Tool Jammer might be an issue. In terms of winning the game, there is a path where you go Boss's Order, Tool Jammer, and then Quick Shooting, and that would knock out the Suicune. So just making sure that you do not have access to that Cape of Toughness. I don't know if Tool Jammer entirely works like that. I need to double check here. Read up on my Tool Jammer card. It's one of those rare situations where I'm like, how does Tool Jammer work? And that's probably a good question to ask. Probably something that you want to make sure where you're always reading cards. So we're heading into Game 2. Raihan did lose Game 1 and is choosing to go first over Bruno. So we're going to see if the Crushing Hammers are going to be a factor again. Starting with Suicune certainly isn't bad. Maybe starting off the turn with the Fleet-Footed is the right kind of idea. Of course, that Quick Ball might just go for a Sobble. I think there's really not too much else you want to be searching for here. And getting the Water Energy in the discard pile certainly can spell good things here when it comes down to searching out Melanie later on in the game. Having energy in the discard pile is good, although that is what caused Raihan doom last game, where they could not use Melanie and attach on the same turn. They ran out of energies to attach, or they couldn't find them more in particular. Now, grabbing Lotad here seems a little bit risky. I think it's much better to have a Sobble here. I don't see a reason why you'd ever grab Lotad. You'd probably want to have double Sobble for what it's worth. I don't think it necessarily matters, but I think just in terms of getting set up, I'd like to have double Sobbles before getting anything. Maybe they're just going to go a little bit more aggressive, but now it's just like rare candying into an Inteleon, and then you really are like at the mercy of what's going on. Maybe you grab a Lombre and a Research, but I don't think that Lotad's going to come out very quickly. The 10 damage is probably going to go on the Lotad because it should have a higher chance of just not evolving. Maybe they're going to be playing a Research here and they're just trying to waste their Scoop Up Nets. Okay, yeah, doing 10 to both seems like a great strategy, and let's see what's getting discarded with that Research. Nothing crazy, no Sobbles on board yet for Bruno. See if that Crushing Hammer is gonna tear Raihan to shreds. Tails, you hate to see it, but I mean, Raihan literally lost from Crushing Hammers. I know there's probably going to be peeps in the chat are like, what the heck, Zach? Do you support Crushing Hammer as a card? I mean, I think any card's valid in Pokemon TCG. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of RNG-based cards, but I do see how it can be important. Missing that energy sucks for Bruno. There's no other way to put it. You want to attach an energy so you're in the driver's seat for the most part of the game. Simple rare candy here, and grabbing... you probably want to grab a Lombre, so maybe like a Level Ball or an Evolution Incense. And you probably want to grab a Research. Not entirely sure what the Quick Ball is going to grab here. Maybe just another Sobble. I think it's much better to grab out a Lombre. And I think Raihan, by pausing at it, is looking at it. But maybe it's just a better excuse to be grabbing out a Sobble this turn. Maybe they're just trying to set up for the rest of the game. I don't see a world where that boss isn't getting discarded. It's definitely just going to be a Sobble at this point, and now Research to try to draw and maybe into that Lombre, maybe into another Sobble. And we are going to see a way to grab the Lombre and a Sobble, so I think that those are really the best plays here, getting that army of Inteleon set up. As long as there's enough Shady Dealings and Drizzile to really deal with that, I think that's fine, but grabbing Lombre seems absolutely lit. A little backwards, I would have definitely grabbed it the other way around just to grab another Sobble. But again, I'm not entirely sure on the Drizzile count available and quick shooting Inteleon count available to Raihan. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 160. So 160 damage is going to be done. So reasonably, this is the same spot that we are in the game, except that Bruno is going to be behind 90 damage. Last time they went for a shred. So it's really going to come down to that. Just getting that Dragapult set up on the bench and seeing if that one Dragapult can really do it all. And I'm not sure if it can. I think that this is really one of those things where Raihan's deck set up and the early start of Bruno's deck is just like, nah, fams. Now, this is why Crushing Hammer allows you to catch up. If you go seconds and you're behind an energy, you're technically behind 2 turns. We need to see 2 Crushing Hammer heads and likely a Melanie miss at this point for Bruno to be back into this game truly. I mean, a lot of things could happen, and I mean, it's PTCGO. We'll see exactly what's going on. But let's see exactly what's popping here, peeps. So, going for that Crushing Hammer strategy, trying to slow down Raihan at any cost. Let's see if it's going to be 1 for 1. Or, sorry, 1 and 1. So, there it is now, 1 and 1. There's 2 Crushing Hammers left for Bruno. So it's very important to understand how many Crushing Hammers your opponent has. Not sure if I necessarily would have evolved the active, because that's just extra prize cards in play. But apparently this is the one that's getting set up. And I mean, maybe it's going to be set up with some kind of Raihan play the next turn on the one on the bench. It's kind of spooky to set up the one that has whatever, but maybe you need those energies and just really hoping that Raihan just does not have access to another energy here. Now, if I'm Raihan, I'm going, word, let's get out another Suicune. Let's Melanie to that Suicune ASAP. Let's get energies in play and really flood the board so we're able to use Blizzard Rondo safely for the rest of the game. The numbers here add up pretty well, with 60 plus 20 from the Horror Psychic Energy, putting the Suicune at 80 once it gets attacked into, and then there's going to be leaving it with 130. With Tool Jammer already on that Dragapult, Cape of Toughness ain't saving the Suicune, so it looks like Bruno is setting up a multi-prize card turn, or at least planning to knock out that Suicune V. So powering up the Cape of Toughness on the bench, certainly good. I think it's much better first to go Melanie in terms of a sequencing thing. So using Shady Dealings, you definitely want to get out Melanie, because you also have that Raihan in your hand. There's no other card that I'd want to be playing here than Melanie. I know it sucks to lose the Drizzile, but this is why you would have. It also would have been better to get other things set up. So really missing that extra opportunity to play a supporter here is what can screw you up if Bruno goes for a Marnie play. I mean, you can't necessarily go Marnie and other things, but to me, as long as there was Melanie in the deck, which we just saw Melanie out of the prize cards, it seems like that was kind of a wasted potential play. And with, I believe there's access to one last Scoop Up Net, that Sobble could be gone and there might not be an opportunity to even use that Drizzile. So this could be a really awkward turn So missing that Evolution Incense could spell doom for Bruno. What's going on here? So there's that Marnie play, and I mean, yeah, with all those extra Pokemon on the bench, we might just see a Ludicolo come down and go for the Blizzard Rondo. Certainly have the cards for it right now. So it looks like it's a huge miss from Bruno. So probably I was exaggerating for going on in the future, but I wasn't expecting Bruno to miss it all. And that Scoop Up Net to do the 10 damage to the Sobble could be cool. Oh, there is the Drizzile there. Maybe we are going to see a Scoop Up Net. Or not a Scoop Up Net, a Crushing Hammer. If this is a heads, this could spell doom for Raihan again. Boom. Again, this is a case where I think early on in this game, it's probably much better to just discard the water, because currently there's no access to Melanie for Raihan, but we'll see exactly what's up. And this is really one of those turns where I think you set up to try to win the game in a couple turns. So just going for Capacious Buckets, just getting set up. Yeah, and I think it's going to be Drizzile for either Melanie or Ludicolo. I think finding a way to get out Ludicolo and just hitting seems like a very good plan. Is there no way to grab the Ludicolo? Because this would put it at one quick shooting ping away from losing the game. So, apparently not. There is Ludicolo. Maybe we're going to see Ludicolo come down. Again, this puts it one quick shooting ping away, because you'd be doing 200 damage plus 100, 300, and then you just have to go quick shooting one time. So it's really one of those things where you gotta think about it. I don't think it's a. I think it's a no-brainer here. Just really getting that extra damage outputs. And let's 300 it up. So one quick shooting, it's done. At this point, I think if you are Bruno, you want to be going Boss's Orders, bringing up that Boss's Orders, bringing up the Drizzile, hoping your opponent does not have access to anything else. I mean, at this point, I think the game's absolutely over. If you are Bruno, I think it's just over. Maybe there's a Boss's Orders play where you knock out the Suicune, you knock out the Drizzile, and there's really nothing after that. And that could really be where it gets a little bit scary. But here it looks like there is Melanie. There's just Raihan in hand. That literally just wins the game. So I like how Ryan's asking his opponent, getting things set up. So we are going to be moving into Game 3. Plenty of time left to determine what's going on for these two players. And I'm kind of hyped to see exactly what's going on here. So there's the Raihan, just going for it. Search the deck for, it doesn't matter. Double check the energy. There's the energy. Boom. We're going to see the Blizzard Rondo 4-game. Raihan bringing it back 1-1. Let's see who's going to win this game. We're going to be hopping into Game 3 right now. All right, we are moving into Game 3. Here we are. Bruno's going to be able to go first for once. We're going to see if Bruno's able to go Dragapult, Attach, and Energy. And this game could be crash and burn. I find that the post-rotation standard format can often be defined if players have anything going on. I mean, Ryan's hand looks pretty okay to maybe be attacking relatively soon. We'll have to see exactly what Bruno flips up, because again, we are watching from Ryan's perspective. Starting with Dragapult, a great sign. We see that there's 8 cards in hands. So plus the 9, that's more than the 8 that you'd start with 7 plus your top deck for the turn. So having extra cards is certainly good. Bruno here really looking for Sobbles and energy and what's going on. But by the way that they're playing a little bit like thinking things out, it might be difficult for them. Or they might not necessarily have all the cards that they currently are looking for. So there's Sobble. Does that mean that there's going to be an energy? Ooh, no, Bruno missing the energy is huge. So this is currently a case where I think it's much better to be using Capacious Bucket, search through your deck, grab some cards, and then go ahead and go fleet-footed, pray that you get a quick ball, and see what's up. So not going to be a great turn here for Raihan. No Sobbles, no nothing. It's going to be an attached pass. So even though Bruno didn't have a great start, it doesn't necessarily matter because there's nothing going on here. Maybe going defensive boss on that Sobble might be better, because if we think about the cards that can get Bruno out of that active spot, there's very limited options. There's literally Scoop Up Nets, or Retreat. Those are the only 3 cards. So defensive boss seems pretty good here. And maybe Bruno has it all, and that's the reason why they don't have Psychic Energies or Horror Psychic Energies. Let's see exactly what they grab here. So Drizzile can grab in that Scoop Up Net, but I think it's either grabbing Scoop Up Net or it's going to be grabbing a Fog Crystal. They really need energy in general. So there's the energy that might say what's going on in Bruno's hands. Because right now there's nothing going on in Raihan's hands. Absolutely nothing. So let's see what's up. There's the Scoop Up Nets. Are we going to see a Shred? Because that would require evolving. Ooh, Crushing Hammer. The Crushing Hammer here actually helps out Raihan, surprisingly, because now you're able to use Melanie. Oh, that hand's gone now. So Melanie is not an option unless, of course, Raihan draws into it. Raihan drawing in a Melanie, but does not have access to another energy. That hand is not particularly strong. So really turning the tides back and forcing that supporter. So here it's much better first to go Level Ball first, grab a Sobble out of the deck, and then play Melanie before you play anything else down. And we don't see the energy. Is it going to be with Fleet-Footed? We do see the energy from the Fleet-Footed. What a top deck. Although it's not going to be a ridiculous amount of damage, we're not really in the 2-shot range when it comes down to hitting that Dragapult. So things can get a little bit sticky here if you are Raihan. And I mean, Bruno's really not out of it. Again, that top deck is really keeping Raihan in the game. Raihan's probably praying to Arceus right now. That was a crazy top deck. And that's why Fleet-Footed is amazing. Sometimes you're just going to be able to draw that one card necessary. It's not always going to work out. One card usually isn't great. But a lot of games, you always hear those stories around your friends. You lose by one card. Oh, if I only had this, only 10 more damage, 10 more seconds. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on with this Drizzile. But I really think that if Bruno's able to get off a successful attack here, that'd be huge. And with research, it looks like Bruno's going to be going all in. So is this going to be an energy or Dragapult? You really want to see a Horror Psychic energy here. Maybe the Crushing Hammer is going to be it. Getting another heads there. Carefully using that capture energy, pitching that away so you cannot get the energy back with Melanie. It's crazy. Only if Bruno knew that those early Crushing Hammers actually allowed Raihan to get out of it. This is one of those ones where you're like, oh, the Crushing Hammer actually helped my opponent out. So. There's the 10 damage. It's going to be a double prize card kind of, or not double knockout, just double damage kind of day. Knocking out the Sobble, setting up that Suicune for a lack of success. And I mean, I think at this point, Bruno's looking to kind of respond with some kind of Raihan play. So we'll see. Up a prize card. Currently not bad, those Crushing Hammer heads. Really looking for an energy here. Because you got to think about it, that Drizzile cannot just magically draw what we're looking for. Fleet-Footed really might solve some answers here. So currently with damage output, we need to see 200 damage done. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Even if there's 2 more Pokemon put down, that's not enough for the knockouts. So it might be really difficult for Raihan to get the knockout this turn. And that could give Bruno that extra turn where they really are able to breathe and set up a Dragapult V on the bench and really jump back into this game. So are we going to see that rare candy into the Shady Dealings Inteleon? Apparently not. At this point, it would have to be like a Capacious Bucket. That Sobble just got put down. You can't grab you need to grab an energy or a supporter. And I mean, it's tough. If that Marnie misses, this game could just really be over. It's a bit of a risky play. I think I would have personally liked to see the rare candy into Inteleon, but we'll see if they're able to get the energy here. And they were not able to get the energy. So Raihan getting punished for playing that Marnie instead of just grabbing a Capacious Bucket. I mean, sometimes the results are not nice, but there's no current way to get out of this situation. Even if it's grabbing a Drizzile here, that Sobble hit the bench this turn, which is why I think it was a really good play for Bruno to knock out one of the Sobbles. So we're just kind of stuck here, waiting. It's not worthwhile to go with Ludicolo. You're not attacking. And I think this is really a turn for Bruno to go Boss's Orders, bring up something, and start hitting. They really got a freebie turn. Not even like not getting knocked out. A whole other freebie turn. And if they knock out that Lotad, they can't get knocked out again. So it really looks like it's Bruno's game to lose at this point. And I think that Raihan's deck is just kind of fizzling out. And I mean, Crushing Hammer is not really even going to matter at this point. We're just going to see exactly what's going on here. Now, Bruno's thinking here, what's the play? What's the wave? We do see the quick shooting Inteleon, and that's enough to knock out the Suicune. I think it's much better to knock out the Suicune first, before attaching that energy. Okay, we're not knocking out the Suicune. Looks like we're just going to be knocking out, with quick shooting, sorry. We're going to be knocking out the Lotad to basically keep this active Pokemon and add another turn to the game. So there's Max Phantom. Even if everything gets set up on Raihan's side, there's not enough damage output to do 200 damage. At least I don't believe so. Let's just quickly recap and do some math. If Raihan fully benches everything, there's 200 damage there. So it would be enough to get a knockout. They need to get 3 bench Pokemon and find a way to get an energy out. So maybe it would have been better to knock out the Suicune with quick shooting and then hit into something else. But with 2 prize cards left, it does seem like it does seem like Raihan's looking in a grim spot. The game's a little bit difficult at this point, so we'll have to see exactly what's going on there. Lotad certainly a must. Maybe we're going to see a Boss's Orders and knock out multi-prize cards. That could literally be Bruno's game plan to win. So putting down Lotad might be a little bit low-key risky. But you do see it go down. You got to bench those basic Pokemon, right? Oh, the rare candy play into the Inteleon. I actually like that. Does that mean there's a rare candy left for the Ludicolo? I'd really want to see what's exactly going on here in Raihan's deck. We do see a rare candy there, so we do know it exists. Melanie, Capacious Buckets, drawing cards certainly doesn't seem bad. Maybe it's going to be Raihan. That could be better, just directly search things out, because if you get anything else knocked out, that Melanie could be an out. So we'll have to see what goes on here and how this turn really plays out. With the current board state, we do know that Bruno is unable to win the game next turn at this point, unless of course there is another Pokemon played down on the bench. So there's the other energy, no basic Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we do see the Fleet-Footed. I don't think that's necessarily going to do anything. Quick shooting, hit the active. So this is now 180 plus the Blizzard Rondo. That is a knockout. And I mean, again, there's no win con here when it comes down to Bruno this upcoming turn. I mean, they could put themselves in a great position. And I think the best position that they possibly can do is to hit the active as hard as they can with Max Phantom, snipe the bench Lotad out of there so there's no OHKO potential, and really pushing that as far away as you can in this game. So you definitely have to go after the Lotad this turn to stop Enthusiastic Dance from going down, because that is a potential win con, or at least bringing it closer for Raihan to have the win con. There needs to be the bench Pokemon for Blizzard Rondo in play, But quick shooting might be able to get there a little bit closer, but we got to see exactly what is going on here. So there is Raihan. We are going to see some access to some things. Maybe it's just going to be another Crushing Hammer. It really could be. It could be a boss's orders. It could be a lot of things. Okay, that's 10 to the Lotad. There's still that quick shooting Inteleon that can place 20 damage counter somewhere, or 2 damage counter somewhere. Just on the active. So, I mean, it looks like this is setting up for game next turn. So it's going to flip over to Ryan's side. That Lotad's definitely knocked out, putting to 1 prize card remaining when it comes down to Bruno. Bruno is 1 prize card away here. And I mean, Marty gives Bruno more of a hand than what they currently have. So we're going to have to see exactly how that plays out here. Maybe they're just going over the entire win condition board. There's no Tool Jammer in play or anything else like that. They could go ahead and get something else set up, but putting that Suicune to the bench seems a little bit spooky. But they do need to be able to attack this turn. That's really the big thing. And in terms of getting out of the active spot, there's really not too many ways to get out of the active spot. There's Escape Rope still in deck. Escape Rope's going to be particularly hard to get out here. And being able to draw 3 prize cards, you really want to focus in on that Dragapult VMAX. So this means now that there's no way to attack with the active, it's definitely going to have to be some kind of Escape Rope play. But I wouldn't necessarily... It's kind of dangerous not being able to use Melanie here. So not being able to attack, really just setting up a Suicune and being like, I have quick shooting, you have quick shooting, I have less HP, you have more HP. It's kind of a war that I don't think Ryan can win in the end game. And with the way that the current prize cards are set up, it looks like it's going to be incredibly difficult here for Ryan to come back from this, if at any. And we might just see a Scoop Up Net into a game-winning move. We could see another Dragapult getting fully set up. We could see a lot of things. If there's an energy, this is just game. If there's a Scoop Up Net, this is just game. Quick shooting to the bench along with Max Phantom would put Dragapult as a dub here, winning over Suicune. So we'll see exactly what type of options, if any, Bruno has left, and see if they are able to win this game with that there's just 1 retreat that costs there. Let's see if they are able to get out of the active spot. So there's Crushing Hammer and Marnie. Currently no way to get out of the active spots. They might actually lose the game over that. Not having an extra way out. Because they're already down in energy, right? So it's going to be some kind of quick shooting play. Okay, there's that, and they did get the Horror Psychic Energy, so they can go quick shooting onto the bench Suicune V, and go ahead and go Max Phantom. So we are going to have Bruno as our champion, with Dragapult winning yet another late night series, making its 3rd straight finals appearance. Congratulations to both players, well played. Bruno is going to be our late night series number 7 champ. That's what we got going on for the finals match. We do have Bruno winning over Ryan. Both players played amazingly well, but in the end, Crushing Hammers can go the extra distance. In that crazy game 1, Crushing Hammer barrage was able to allow Bruno to win over Ryan. So we got Dragapult winning. Dragapult's usually winning. One of the best decks we currently have in the format. Feel free to check out my deck profile of this video on the channel. That being said, both players' lists are in the description. Again, major hand of applause when it comes to these players. And give this video a like if you haven't already. It does boost the YouTube algorithm, so really help me out as a content creator. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're trying to get to 6,000. We might have got there by now, but it fluctuates anyways. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm going to go edit this video. I'm really tired. It's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Peace out, peeps. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member. It's one of those things where I appreciate every single person who watches my videos, and I mean, that's really where it counts, but for the channel members, they've gone out of their way to financially support me, and I truly appreciate that gesture. It's one of those things when I started channel memberships up on my channel, and I just didn't know if anyone was ever going to do it, so I truly appreciate everyone taking the plunge, taking a leap of trust, and investing in me as a content creator. Truly makes a difference for me each and every month. If you haven't already thought about becoming a channel member, you might want to contribute to the channel, and I do put everything back into the channel to make it the best possible place to watch for Pokemon TCG content. Again, I truly appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.